Hello to all my mini maniacs out there, Data here, and it is time for episode 3 of the Minnesota Wild franchise mode. In the last episode, we started off the first 30 games of the season, decent performances from our stars, but tough times from the rest of the team, as may be seen in the 12, 13, and 5 record that we currently hold. So the first line's been killing it, Parise, newly acquired Sean Monahan, and free agent signing Mike Hoffman, all doing great, but Kaprizov, okay, but you think he'd do a bit more after all of his great times in Russia. And then it really drops off after that, where like Michael Frolik on the fourth line is scoring as much as Kevin Fiala on the second. EA really did Minnesota dirty in a lot of ways. I'd have Fiala higher. On defense, arguably Spurgeon and Brodin are better than the original top two of Suter and Dumba, but they're rated 84 and 83 respectively. I didn't want to change up too many overalls, so I didn't cheese the system for the team that I was taking over, but that is the hand we have been dealt. Also signed in free agency last episode was Sami Vatanen, another Finn for all you Finnish fans out there. And in between the pipes, we still have Cam Talbot backed up by Alex Staal. So we said, we're at a pretty critical point right now. In the last episode, we stopped it early. Usually we stop at the deadline. I said, let's stop it here. December 13th, almost Christmas time. Everyone takes some time off, enjoy. And we got to say, are we going to gear up for a run or are we going to be sellers? What are we going to do? So there are a lot of comments in the last one. As always, I'm just going to go over a few of the key ones. We were talking about looking through the trade blocks. We saw a few people on the block, including former Wild centerman Eric Staal, who fits well on the second line. So Brian here, our resident Wild fan, he says that we should bolster that second line with a better center because at the moment, we currently have 3 snipers on the second line. I'll move away the comment for a second here. We put Bonino there, but for most of the season, we've been going sniper of Eriksson Ek, sniper of Fiala, and sniper of Kaprizov. So that has not been working out for us. With the bottom 6, Brian says, things just might need to be a little shaken up. I'd see if you can pull off those and reevaluate at the trade deadline. If things at the deadline haven't changed much, I'd sell and tank because you literally can't afford anything else. Well said, Brian. The second line definitely has to be addressed. As Wes said as well, saying that I think the move for Staal could be a good one unless something better turns up and can help with the chemistry on the second line. Chris jumps in as well, saying we need a better defensive playmaker that fits the second line to boost chemistry and scoring. Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek, Fiala, all snipers, not good. He recommended Victor Raspin and he commented after saying, actually go get Eric Staal. And last comment concerning the forwards, Jack coming in and saying that Brodin and Spurgeon are on really bad contracts for their overall. And take this year, maybe 2, move what you can for picks, prospects, clear a lot of cap space, set yourself up better for the future. Parise and Suter don't have to be immediate moves because they still have the overall, but just reload and re-sign veterans like Bonino or Bukestad who are good in the bottom 6. So a 2-year-ish reload and then trying with this core. Guys like Eriksson Ek, Kaprizov, and Greenway are all good pieces for the future. Love the vids, can't wait for more. Thank you very much, Jack. Good comment with good depth. Always love to see those. Concerning other changes for the team, Abby B, or is it Abe B or Ab B? That's a fun name. Let me know how to say that exactly. That's a fun name, Abby B. Says, I'd love to see Madison Bowie get some ice time. I think he'll bring your third pair up to a +3, and he's a right-handed D with some potential to grow. So we signed him as depth, but then Carter Soucy's not doing anything really crazy. Well, actually, 1 goal +5 is good. Yeah, but let's say just for the experiment at the moment, if we took out Carson Soucy and put in Madison Bowie, he gives it a +3. That's good. Anyone give it a +5? No, +3. So he definitely fits. I'm going to fix it up later, but just to say that I will definitely get him into the top 6 defense. Not sure how it's going to work, but we'll get him in. And now concerning the goaltending, Jay Birdie says maybe trade for a high-end goalie prospect or an NHL starter because after Talbot, there really isn't any goalies that are going to win you any games. Hunter Jones is good, but he's already at 21, around a 60-something overall. Concerning goalies as well, ACOG batteries, Grubauer always sims well for me. We saw that Grubauer is a potential trade target. And lastly, huge comment here. Take the moment to pause and read if you'd like from Toby, the HR rep. An honor to be speaking to him. He left a few comments here on the Discord server. Make sure you join that. Link in the description if you want to talk more about the team. Just basically saying that Parise to the Parise getting moved wouldn't be the craziest thing since he almost moved in real life, but we got to get somebody else out here. Eriksson Ek is not going to really be that second line center right now that fans are going to get excited over, really. Mikko Koivu 2.0. He's more of a two-way forward than a sniper, and we need better players than that. He's a good player, but we need better players than that in the top 6. As well, going on to say later that we need a new goalie, because over the last 10 years, the Wild haven't really had that long-term bona fide starter. Dubnyk came to the Wild in 2015, but he really only lasted 3 seasons as the starter. It could be worth pursuing a long-term goalie just to give the Minnesota fans a player to latch onto between the pipes. So we're definitely going to look into that. Goaltending is going to be a huge element as well. I have a couple trades in mind of the team at the moment, but that's definitely important. We have decent goalie prospects in Kakkonen and Jones. Even Robson and Betty Beau aren't bad, but we don't really have any elite potential going on. So getting a better starting goalie, I wanted to win with Cam Talbot. We just signed him, or even Alex Stalock, but they're really not doing it for us right now. Alex Stalock is one of the longest serving players on the team, actually. 65, 52, and 17 his career record. But anyways, I have a few ideas, and we're going to jump into it right now. First things first, I think we have to bring back Eric Staal. I'm a huge fan of Eric Staal. Unfortunately, I did not like that deal of Eric Staal for Marcus Johansson. I know that it was made due to Seattle and money and whatever in mind by Bill Guerin, but Eric Staal is a great forward. He fits the second line. He fits the penalty kill. We literally could not ask for anything more. I know he's 36, probably only has like one more season after this one before he retires, but I would love to get Eric Staal back on Minnesota. I realized the mistakes of my predecessor, and I called up Buffalo and I said, listen, I want to make a deal happen. So if we're going to be bringing in a roster player, we have to move out a roster player. And I think if we go in the center, sorry, we're already in centers. If we go to centers here, sorting by overall, I think it has to be Nick Bjugstad. Sam Bennett as well. I wouldn't mind moving Bennett and Bjugstad, actually. Bennett, he's fine, but I only really brought him in for the money because Calgary didn't want to keep him. I don't see ourselves keeping Sam Bennett long term. 3 games, -1, whatever. He's a fine player, but I really don't have much use for him. I'd rather toss in Bjugstad and Bennett. I'm not going to toss in Bennett yet, but I'd like to move Bjugstad especially. 1 goal, 3 assists, -7 in 30 games on expiring deal. I don't really think I see myself bringing him back. So I'm going to throw in, this is what I'm thinking. I have 2 first-round picks, and both have a lot of value. Can I throw in Pittsburgh's first-round pick that has more value because they're a losing team, I suppose, and Buffalo's a winning team, which means their first has less value? Could I give you Pittsburgh's first, and you give me back your first, and then toss in like a 3rd and a 4th next season? How would that work? So I haven't tried this yet. We're going to hit propose, but Nick Bjugstad and a first from Pittsburgh to Buffalo for Eric Staal, their first, and a 3rd and a 4th next season. This would be great if this get pulled off because we're basically swapping firsts and taking back a 3rd and a 4th and getting a much better player. Trade accepted. Woo, baby. Thank you, Buffalo. All right, we'll fix up the roster moves here. Thankfully, the glitch is gone, so it won't be a big deal to have to replace anybody. We'll call up Eric Staal. He's already here. Perfect. We'll fix the lines later on. We'll just slap him in there for the moment. Perfect. All right. So, by the way, Pittsburgh at the moment, their record is 13, 13, and 4. That's why their pick had a decent amount of value. We'll see how bad they end up being or how bad Buffalo ends up being as well. We could have traded our first, but that would be a bit risky because if we don't turn things around, we're going to be a bad team. And I definitely want to hold on to my first-round pick. Now, the second move that we were thinking about was going after a goalie. Now, here's my thought process. For a goalie, we could go out and get Philip Grubauer. Not a lot of trade value, but the thing is, he's not on the block. He's starting in Colorado. It wouldn't really make as much sense. We try to stay as close to reality as we can when we can, and getting Philip Grubauer from the Avalanche would not make sense. I know Francouz could slot in there, but still, would they move their starter when they're having a good season like that? There's no reason to do that. So there were some other options. We could get David Rittich, 84 overall, 28 years old, last year of an expiring deal. He doesn't really have a future in Calgary because Jacob Markstrom is the starter now. So we could get him, 84 at 28. But I also am interested in Elvis Merzlikins, who's 84 but 2 years younger and signed for 1 year longer at $4 million. Now, Elvis Merzlikins, 16 games, 911 save percentage, 2.72 goals against average. Meanwhile, David Riddick in 10 games, 906, 2.52. Both good options. The thing is, Riddick is on the block, which makes it a lot easier to get that done, but I would also like to make a deal with an Eastern Conference team here, so I don't need to see whoever I trade away. We already traded away Bukestad. We don't got to see him anymore. He didn't really work out on this team. The poor guy's been to a lot of teams recently. He's been shafted by the EA system as well. There were other goalies we could go after. Kudobin's on the block. You could get Jonathan Bernier, stuff like that. But like Toby and HR said, we want to get a player that Minnesota can look forward to long term. And I think that's Elvis Merzlikins. I know he's not on the block, but they already have a starter. So these guys are kind of interchangeable. If you lose Merzlikins, who has less value, Korpisalo just comes off the block. You keep Korpisalo. So I don't feel bad taking away Merzlikins from the Blue Jackets, as bad as I would have felt if I took Grubauer away from the Avalanche. So Cam Talbot, 82 overall. 83 overall. He's as old as Alex Staal, but he's signed for 3 years at 3.665. It would make more sense to trade Cam Talbot. Alex Staal, he's not playing as well, but here's the thing: we need to free up money for the free agent signings that we have coming up, the expiring contracts. So as much as I'd rather keep Talbot as a backup and just trade Staal, I think I need to keep Staal's fantastic contract and trade Cam Talbot. That puts us at 79 million. It's pretty tight. We already have some tight moves we're gonna have to make in this next offseason. But for the moment, he costs a little bit more. If we have to add a little bit to make this happen for sure. So could I give you, we have a lot of picks here. Can I give you a 4th and a 6th? Cam Talbot, a 4th and a 6th for Elvis Merzlikins. They want to move a goalie, probably that they're not happy right now. They're both starters who are sharing time. I'm saying, Elvis, come over here. You're going to be my starter. And he's forcing Jarmo Kekalainen, is that his name? The GM of the Blue Jackets, to make it happen. So Cam Talbot, he's fine. He's a good goalie, but he's going to go off to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Is this enough to make it happen with a 4th and a 6th? Not quite. You're quite far off in value. Okay. That is fair. You know what? I'm going to make it a 4th this year, and that 4th that I got from Buffalo next year. No, actually, I'll keep it my 4th next year, and I'll give you back your 7th round pick, and then my 7th. We have way too many picks this draft. I wouldn't mind getting rid of a few. 2 4ths and 2 7ths with Cam Talbot for Elvis Merzlikins. Trade accepted. Thank you very much, Columbus. That is a huge move for us. 2 big moves to start this episode and turn this franchise around. Let's fix it up. Let's see how Eric Staal looks when we have everything changed, and then we'll get simulating. All right, so here's how we're looking. Eric Staal on the second line gives us a +1. We could put Hoffman and Kaprizov swapped around like this, but I want to give Kaprizov first line time and try to spread the wealth with Mike Hoffman down on the second line. If that doesn't work as much, we'll go back to how we had it. But Kaprizov, he simulates like a monster. He just hasn't been getting the opportunity, I think, and that -17 is killing him. So we got to try and pull out as much talent as we can from him. Defense, we're going to put Madison Bowie here on the bottom pair, give it a +3 at the moment, with Carson Carter? Carson Soucy out of the lineup. On the special teams now, I like the special teams. We now went from 0-0 to +1/+1 on the 4-man power play. And on the power play itself, we are still at +3/+5. On the penalty kill, Eric Staal replaces Michael Frolik, who goes to the first unit, who replaces Josh Lievo, giving it a slightly better rating. The special teams have been okay, but hopefully this will fix them up a bit more. What really hurts us is that our defense don't fit very much. I think Sami Vatanen's the only one with a check mark. That is the unfortunate part. Also, looking at 3-man PK, totally forgot about that. We got to put Sami Vatanen here. And that's still at still -1, huh? But what if I put Eric Staal instead of Bonino? Then we're at -2. Okay, forget it. Back to Bonino. Okay, so we are ready to keep on simulating like that in the extras. All good. And between the pipes now, Elvis Merzlikins. If you can't beat him, join him. In NHL 19, this guy was a thorn in our sides, the bane of our existence when I had the NHL 19 Brooklyn Bellows expansion franchise mode. And he always got us. Somehow he was an 81 overall, always winning the Vezina. So we'll see if we can get some luck with him here in NHL 21 when he's actually good. 84 medium starter. Scratches stay the same, Soucy, Lewis, and Bennett now, and we're good to go. So I'm excited to see how everybody looks. I'm going to take a mental note here of everyone's stats before this happens, especially just everyone in the top 6. I'm hoping the bottom 6 can turn it around now. So I just snapped a picture of that. Eric Stahl's having a great season, by the way. 32 points in 31 games. So I really hope that he keeps that up. And like we said about the bottom 6, Johansson's playing with Eriksson, Ek, and Greenway. That's a really good third line. Playmaker, sniper, power forward. So hopefully they can get stuff done. And then Bonino on the fourth line with Lievo and Froley. Come on, that should be a lockdown defensive fourth line. So let's see what we can do here in Minnesota. Some big moves. We had to make a splash. We did. Eric Staal, Elvis Merzlikins, and draft picks in. Nick Bjugstad, Cam Talbot, and other draft picks out. So our first chance at home is going to be up against the Florida Panthers, Mike Hoffman's old team. They're 15-11-3. Let's see what we can do with the new look Minnesota Wild. First period, 0-0. Second period, 1-1. Hornquist scores on the power play past Merzlikins, and Kaprizov scoring on Bobrovsky up on that top line. Okay, third period now. Power play Florida gets killed off by us, but then Barkov puts the Panthers ahead by 1, a fourth into the period. But now halfway through, still down by 1. Shots are very even, but we can't get anything past Bobrovsky. 4 minutes left. Is there going to be a hero? Somehow Bobrovsky standing tall, and that'll be it. 3-1 now. You know what? It was a good performance, but we couldn't come away with the W. Only 1 goal on 29 shots. Bobrovsky. Sometimes you run into a hot goalie. What can you do? Okay, we're not going to take that as the final nail in the coffin, though. Oh, what? What was that? These menus are... What? Well, I pressed edit player and it brought me somewhere else. These menus are slowing down. I thought they were supposed to be good, these menus. Once they put in the patches to the glitches, I guess the menu speed slowed down again. Great. All right, now against the Calgary Flames, Sean Monahan up against his old team, Matt Dumba up against his. And by the way, Matt Dumba getting moved away. That was a necessary move for the beginning of the franchise mode with, you know, Brodin and Spurgeon locked up in those long-term deals. But in the future, I am not going to be opposed, even as soon as this first offseason, to moving out Brodin or Spurgeon and bringing back Matt Dumba. So I wouldn't say that's the end of Matt Dumba in Minnesota. First period, 1-0 Calgary, Dylan Dubé. Second period, 1-1. Okay, Hunt ties it up. Great. Now on that second unit up with Spurgeon. 1-1, shots 20-18 in our favor. Power play early. +3, +5 in those units. Long power play. Can't get anything. Come on, that should be our bread and butter right there on the power play. We should be killing it whenever we have a man advantage with a +3 and a +5. Still 1-1 late in the third. Will there be a late hero, or are we headed past regulation? We are. Shots 33-27 in our favor into overtime here. We've had a lot of OTLs this season. Let's make it a dub. And we're headed to the shootout. In the shootout, we win. Let's go. Kaprizov and Zuccarello. That's right, of course, Matt Zuccarello, our old friend as well, scoring. But then Sami Vatanen getting the game-winning goal in the shootout. Both our goals were from far out as well. 13, 14, and 5 is the record now, and let's get some simulation done. Let's go for a couple of weeks here. Yeah, let's go into January, and we'll see how we're looking into the month of January. We have scouting reports coming up in February. Things are looking okay so far. Okay, 2-1 win against the Sharks. Good. 2-1 win. Mason Shaw's back in Iowa. We'll fix that. Alrighty, Pittsburgh Penguins. How's Nick Bjugstad going to do? 4-2 win. Let's go. 4-2 win and a 2-1 win. Very nice. What am I saying? But yeah, because... my bad there. I mixed up where Nick Bjugstad went. He came from the Penguins. We didn't trade him to the Penguins. 4-2 win against the Hawks. 2-1 shootout win against the Jets. Okay. 5-2 win. Let's go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game win streak. Since those trades happened, we lost the first game, then won 7 in a row. We are 7-1-0 in those 8 games. Let's keep it up. Leafs, Sens, Canadians, Bruins, a little Eastern Conference trip out here. Let's go see Ottawa. I know there's a lot of Ottawa fans here on the channel. Let's go see them. Can't go see all the Eastern Conference teams. Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh boy, that's 8 in a row now. 3-2 win against the Maple Leafs. Can we keep it up against the Senators? They're 25-14-2. Really? In year number 1, Senators killing it. First period, oh boy, 3-0. That was an early power play goal from Brown. Then a power play goal from Tierney, and then Brown gets his second. Yikes. Second period, ooh, 5-1. Dadonov... What's with the penalty kill? We've let in 4 power play goals through 2 periods. Brian Suter scoring the lone goal for us. We're down 5-1. 5 goals on 19 shots. I shouldn't have gone in to watch the simulation here. 8-game win streak about to get snapped by the Senators. But that's 8-2-0. An 8-2-0 record in the 10 games since those trades. Tough night for Merzlikins there. That's definitely going to hurt the numbers. but I'm not going to hold that against them. Ottawa, for some reason, are a really good team, I guess. So we'll keep on simulating. The next game we want to see is against the Columbus Blue Jackets. This episode is going to bring us all the way to the end of the season, so let's just get some chunks in where we can. 4-2 win against the Canadiens, 1-0 overtime loss. That's a tough one against the Bruins. You hate to see that. Sprained ankle for Matthew Boldy. We'll fix that up. How's Boldy doing down here? Matthew Boldy, he has 9 goals, 8 assists in 28 games, and Marco Rossi up to a 73 already. 5 goals, 9 assists, -10. Yeah, not a great team in Iowa, unfortunately. We can't forget as well, another change we made was Madison Bowie coming into the lineup. So thank you to Abby B for that suggestion. Looks like that's helping out. We'll check out the stats once we get to the Columbus game. 6-1 win against the Red Wings. 8-3 win against the Flyers. Okay, 2-1 shootout win. We're finally scoring goals. 4-3 win. Let's go. Yes. This is what we wanted to see in Minnesota. That's why we stopped last episode, and that's why we made those moves. 25, 16, and 6 is the record. Zach Parise is under a point per game at 45 in 47. Let's check out everybody here. Monahan, 44. Eric Staal, 40 and 48. He has 8 points in 17 games with Minnesota. I don't know how he's a -7 and has 8 points or having all that success. I don't know. I thought that he'd be performing a little bit better, but I don't know. We'll evaluate the rest of the line. Hold on. Mike Hoffman, 38. Kaprizov, 29. He's turning it around. Suter, Johansson, everyone's looking pretty decent. Eriksson Ek even, 20 and 47 is half decent. Now, Kevin Fiala is what's really surprising me. 18 points and a -17. Maybe I'll put him on the third line. That's really surprising. Frolik, 16. Greenway, Benino, Spurgeon, Hunt, Brodin. Now, where's Bow? Here he is. 17 games, +1, 2 points. Can't ask for much more than that. Alrighty, Madison. All right, now how's Elvis doing? Let's see Elvis. Since he came here, he has a record of 13-3-0, a .920 save percentage, and a 2.10 goals against average. That is exactly what we needed between the pipes, and Elvis Merzlikins is finally delivering. Usually whenever we have him, he doesn't perform, and then whenever we don't have him, he's winning Vezina trophies. I don't get it. Staal hasn't played at all, I don't think, but I'm not really going to complain about that. Did I turn auto-rotate goalies off for the moment? No, auto-rotate goalies is on. All right, just the coach loves going to Elvis, no problem. Popovich, whatever you say, my friend. Now, going back to points here, comparing them to what they were when I took a picture here. So it was after 30 games. Zach Parise had 36 points in 30 games. That means that he got 9 points in the last 17 games. Okay, but the guys I really want to see is Kaprizov here. Kaprizov had 15 points in 30 games. That means he's gotten 14 points in the last 17 games. Fantastic. That is exactly what we needed from Kaprizov, and we're just going to keep the good times going, guys. Just keep the good times going. We're at January 19th now, up against the Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't know if Cam Talbot's going to play tonight, but Elvis Merzlikins is likely playing for us. They're 21-20-6. They decided to go with Korpisalo after they traded Merzlikins away. And I don't know if that's going to work out, but we'll see. First period, 0-0. Second period, 2-1. Dubois scores twice on his old friend. Eriksson Ek scores on Jonas Korpisalo from no angle there. We're down 2-1 here in the third, outshooting them 24-19. Power play early for the Blue Jackets. We kill that one off. Shots are even now, around 25. Power play for us, and Eric Staal scores on the power play. Let's go on that +5 second unit. Playing like a 90 overall. Should be killing it on the power play. 2-2 game with under 5 to go now. 31-27 the shots for Columbus. Final minute of play and we're headed to overtime. 32-30 for Columbus are their shots. Is there going to be an overtime hero or will we see the shootout? We will. Shootout is a win for the Wild. Kaprizov and Hoffman. Let's go. Let's go. A big shootout win for the Minnesota Wild. We are doing very, very well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game winning streak at the moment. Let's move into the month of February. And you know what? We'll go see the Buffalo Sabres, Eric Stahl's old team. And soon we'll have to pause for the scouting reports as well. Vegas Golden Knights, 3-2 loss. Hate to see it. 4-3 win, though. We bounce right back. Close games. Close games. Spurgeon, I'm not going to do that. Are you serious? 27-17-6. Dallas Stars, who Merzlikins sprained wrist. Ooh, that's not good. He's out for like a month. Oh, boy. Yikes. That is not good. Okay, so that means we're going to have to look to Alex Stalock here. Ay. Kakinen's going to come up. He's going to stay on the team for the rest of the season, I suppose, because he is waiver eligible. So Kakinen's going to come up. Stalock's going to be starting. And Merzlikins going to be out with that sprained wrist. We'll see how his numbers were looking in a second, but Kakinen going to be backing up here in the NHL. He has NHL experience. I'm not scared about him. More scared about Stalock. He had a record of 15-4-1, 921 save percentage, 2.13 goals against. All right, Alex Stalock's between the pipes. 2-1 shootout loss, then a 4-1 win against the Blackhawks. And here we are against the Sabres, almost with an identical record. Same amount of wins and losses, just one more overtime loss for us. Let's see what we can do against Buffalo. Not Elvis. It's going to be Nick Bjugstad up against Eric Staal pretty much. Let's see it. First period, 3-2. My goodness. Tage Thompson scores once and Taylor Hall scores twice for Buffalo, our former team back in NHL 20. Greenway and Vatanen scoring on Linus Ullmark. 3-2, 5 goals in that first period. Second period, no scoring. Shots 22-21 in our favor. Up by 1 shot, down by 1 goal. Third period, Jack Eichel extends that lead to 2, and then Jake McCabe makes it 3 right off in the next shot. 5-2 as Alex Stalock is starting to crumble in there. 5 goals on 28 shots at the moment. Halfway through the third, we got to mount a comeback soon. But I don't think it's going to happen. So we'll lose that one 6-2 the final as Colin Miller adds an empty netter. Yikes. That is tough. And then Jonas Brodin strained hamstrings, not out for long though, so Carson Soucy can come back into the lineup. Kevin Fiala, I can't even look at the injury screen. It makes the other thing come up. Broken. Soucy's going to come in right there, gives it a +1. So Kevin Fiala, has his plus-minus changed at all? I had considered moving into this third line, but I decided against it. But is he going to prove his worth to me? Kevin Fiala, now still negative 17. Gotten more points. 21 points in 53 games, but still. Does anyone give that second line a +3? Nobody. Nobody at all on the team. So let's try swapping up with Greenway. Greenway's been playing well. 5, 18, 12, yeah. I don't know, there's 2 snipers here, though. Sniper, playmaker. Okay, you know what? We'll try it. 10 goals, 11 assists, negative 17. Let's sim like 3 games and see if that changes anything. 1, 2, 3, right there. Let's see. A week from now. Kevin Fiala, 3 weeks, 3 games on the third line, sorry. 10 goals, 11 assists, negative 17. 2-1 loss against the Oilers. Jordan Greenway sprained ankle. Okay, forget the experiment. Kevin Fiala is going on right back up. He had 1 assist and a -1. All right, Kevin Fiala back up there. Michael Frolik can go to the third line, and subbing in on the fourth line will be Sam Bennett or Trevor Lewis. I'm gonna give Trevor Lewis some time because I signed him as a free agent to play on the fourth line. It's just when we made that trade and we got Lievo, he kind of got bumped out. Vatanen can slot in here on the power play, keeps the +5, beautiful. 4-man, we'll also put Vatanen, why not? He can play on both units, great. Okay, New Jersey Devils, 5-4 shootout loss, and then a 6-2 win against the Islanders, perfect. Brodin's going to come back here. Soucy's playing well, though. 2 goals, 5 assists, +3. The defense has turned it around for sure. But I don't know, that top pair is weird. Let me try putting Spurgeon. Ooh, whoa, hold on. Let's put Hunt to the top pair. Why not? Hunt to the top pair. Give it a +5. Spurgeon can play with Brodin, and Vatanen can go third pair with Bowie. How about that? Sorry, Soucy, you have to come out. But let's try +5 in that first pair. Why not? Just to try and get the plus-minuses up a bit. Maybe that'll do something. Hunt will play like an 85, and Suter like a 92. So, Philadelphia Flyers, we demolished them last time we played them, 8-3, I think. We beat them 3-1 this time. That's 30 wins on the season as we're closing in on the trade deadline. 3-2 shootout loss, and Greenway's back. We'll fix that up. Trevor Lewis, what did he do on the fourth line? 3 games, 2 assists, hey, and a +2. That makes me happy. That's good. That's really good. I'd almost swap out Josh Lievo with him. You know what? Why not? Let's do that. We're going to put Frolik over on, we'll put him there, Lewis here, and Greenway back here. Why not? We'll try that out for a little bit, see if anything happens. Fiala, oh no, -15. All right, getting a bit better. And on special teams, 4-man power play, Greenway went here, as well as on the second power play unit. All right, we're looking good. We're back to full health. I can't ask for much more at the moment. St. Louis Blues 3-2 shootout win, squeak that one out. Then a 2-0 shutout victory over the Anaheim Ducks. Okay. And then a 1-0 shutout win against the Rangers and a 3-1 win against the Red Wings. So over the last 3 games, we've let in 1 goal, and over the last 4 games, we've let in only 3 goals. 34, 19, and 9 is the record. What's going on between the pipes out here? Let me see this. Alex Staal, 6, 5, and 3. But this is the story. Oh my goodness! Capo Kakinen, the pride of Finland. Look at that flag waving proudly. 4-0-1 with a 949 save percentage and a 1.55 goals against average. Finally, goaltending is becoming our strength over here. Staal, not the greatest record at 6-5-3, but fantastic numbers. Let's go. All 3 goalies are showing themselves to be capable. Just what we need here at the deadline. No moves are necessary. Let's see the final game here before the trade deadline. Well, obviously go into the deadline and see if anything pops up. But against the St. Louis Blues, first period 1-0, Mike Hoffman past Jordan Binnington. Second period 4-0, Sean Monahan, Kevin Fiala himself, and Mike Hoffman on the power play for his second of the night. 4-0 Blues. Marco Scandella breaks Staal's shutout, but Eriksson Ek restores the 4-goal lead right away. 5-1 here in the third. Let's just call it. Let's just go home, hit the showers. 5-1. We've let in 4 goals in the last 5 games only. Big night for Alex Staal, second star. Suter a +2. Hoffman 2 goals. Let's go. Let me see. How's that first pair on defense doing? Is that +5 with Hunt seems to be a huge boost. Maybe I'm just going crazy, but let me see. Suter, he's a +2. All right, and Hunt has 18 points +7. Brad Hunt. His career has been rejuvenated. Everyone's playing well. Vatanen, -1. Let's put him over here. Yeah, I feel bad for Vatanen. If I put Susi back, would it still be just a +1? Yeah, it would just be a +1. So I feel bad for Susi, and I feel bad for Vatanen as well. But whenever something's working, you don't touch it. Let's keep it up. Keep it up. All right, at the trade deadline, let's fix the trade block. If there was anyone that I were to trade, we'll check the points one last time. It'd probably just be maybe like Marcus Johansson, someone on a 1-year deal like that. Kaprizov at 38 points at the moment. Mike Hoffman's killing it with 50 points. I wonder if he'll come back next season. Parise's doing well. Kevin Fiala's not impressing me whatsoever, and he's on that expiring deal, so maybe that means he'll sign for cheaper, but I don't know. Spurgeon's not doing great. Even Brodin's okay. I'm going to put Brodin and Spurgeon, not even, but they just signed those deals. I feel bad trading them at the deadline. We'll just put them on the block. Brodin, Spurgeon, Johansson, we'll put them all on the block. We'll see if something crazy comes our way. If it's for like Spurgeon for a first or something, that's not really what I'm looking for. If someone's going to offer me a really good player though, with term as well, then that would make me think. That's true. Hartman's here as well. Bonino we have on the block. Okay, you know what? We'll throw Victor Rask on the block too. Victor Rask will very likely make the team next season. Unfortunately, he got buried in the minors right now. Doing okay. 12 goals, 25 assists. 2 years left at $4 million. And then on defense, who has more value? Spurgeon has more value than Brodin, making a lot more money. You know what? Yeah, let's just put Spurgeon. There we go. I want... for the wants here, we'll just put first or second line forward or a top 4 defenseman. We don't need a goalie. All right, I doubt anything comes our way. I'm going to sit down and just watch the clock tick and see if anything comes, but we'll definitely just do our due diligence as we always want to. And, ooh, Elvis Merzlikins is back just as we hit the deadline here. So we'll keep him. I mean, we've got to send somebody down who's waiver eligible, unfortunately. So we may lose somebody to waivers here. Either Trevor Lewis. I like Susi, but he may be our best chance at 2.75. I don't know if someone's going to claim that contract. Sam Bennett at 80 overall with that potential, I think he'll get claimed. You know what? Let's try it. Carson Soucy, I really hope you don't get claimed. And yes, he made it through. Thank goodness Carson Soucy stays on the team. I like Carson Soucy. What are we? I'm going to say we're conservative buyers. We are conservative buyers, and we're going to enter the trade deadline. Who is on the block today in this? All the classics. I could have told you this with my eyes closed. Barzal, Tays, Fleury, Couture, Subban, Kane, Vlasic, Jarmelson, Devin Dubnyk, and Antti-Ranta. Those are the top 10 players. I'm going to scroll through all the blocks. I'm going to wait to see if any deals come my way, and I'll let you know whenever something happens here. All right, so here at the deadline, before I say what I do, I got to just show you what just happened over here. Trade summary. Congratulations to the Pittsburgh Penguins as they just reacquired Marc-Andre Fleury from the Vegas Golden Knights for Jason Zucker, Evan Rodriguez, and a 7th-round pick. So Marc-Andre Fleury back in Pittsburgh. That really makes you feel good on the inside. Now, there's a lot of players who are interesting, but of the players who are affordable, there's only really one who's talking to me over here, and it's Ilya Kovalchuk. Ilya Kovalchuk, the want of the return, as you can see on the right here, is only a 4th+ round pick. So something like a 4th or a 5th and a 6th, something like that. That's really cheap for Ilya Kovalchuk. He just got signed as a free agent from by the Kings. They reacquired him, and then now they're putting him on the block. In the 17 games he has played, he has 14 points. He is very good. It says he fits our second line and our power play. This could be great. Fiala can go to the third line, and we can get some better scoring in our top 6 to really solidify what we're trying to do out here. Why would I do that deal, Columbus? So, and of course, it takes away what I was doing. So I'm going to try to get Ilya Kovalchuk here, not just to say let's try and get him a cup or something, but this could be a really good, cheap option for extended goal scoring on this team. So Ilya Kovalchuk will give you, I got to give you back a roster player, so I can give you someone cheap who I'm not really using. We said that Kajula, yeah, Kajula, someone like that who's down in the minors. Kajula can go. He has medium top 9 potential, but I don't think we're really going to be using him. We'll throw in a Calgary draft pick. Drake Kajula here. What has he done down in Iowa? 28 points in 56 games. Not bad at all, but he wouldn't come back next season. So what do you think, LA? A 7th-round pick and Drake Kajula? Is that... That's enough to get it done. What about just Kajula? Okay, trade rejected. Understandable. Let's try with the 7th. LA is just trying to do anything out here, eh? They're 22, 32, and 7 at the moment. All right. Kajula and which team's the worst? Yeah, let's go Florida 7th. They're a good team. So we'll get Ilya Kovalchuk on this team. That's good. I like that deal. I didn't think we were going to be doing any trades out here. Oh, what? I got to give you a different team 7th? Okay, I'm not going to cry about that. Calgary 7th. There you go. Thank you very much, LA. Ilya Kovalchuk. What is absolute no-brainer? Okay. Thank you very much, LA. Ilya Kovalchuk off to the Minnesota Wild. That is very nice. I'm very happy to have him. So I'm just going to sit here pretty much, let the clock run for a couple hours, see if any trade offers come our way that are actually of interest, just to show you if we were to go on the trade finder and see what would be offered for Jared Spurgeon. I don't think it would be much of interest. Like we said, we're looking for players to make our team, not necessarily like draft picks. Noel in a 3rd. No. Hepanyemi, no. It's only the Panthers who could take him anyways. So no big deal. Now here's an interesting one. We're closing in on the deadline. Connor Zary and a 5th for 2/3 and Trevor Lewis. They want Trevor Lewis, I guess. They need some depth on the team here. Connor Zary, good prospect. Medium top 6, 19 years old, 74 overall. What's he doing down in Kamloops? He has 50 points in 48 games. He was drafted 24th overall in the real world here. A center, two-way forward. Two-way forwards are not ideal. I don't know. This is a good... I feel bad, though, stealing them away. Stealing a player like that away. 2 third-round picks. How's our draft pick situation here? We'd have no pick from the 1st to the 5th round. That's the hard part. We'd be fine next season. This is what I talked about in my trade value episode. Sorry, I mean my trade value video, the State of the Union. Unfortunately, I'm forced to say no to a deal that I want to say yes to. That's just too crazy. Why would the Flames feel pressure to trade an unsigned 1st-round pick prospect away for 2 third-round picks and depth? You know, like maybe there's a storyline where he wants out of Calgary or something, but like, you know, he's unsigned. There's nothing really to do. It doesn't make sense to make that deal. It would be a great deal, yes, but unfortunately, we have to try and play somewhat honestly to offset the trade value bug. Final minutes here of the trade deadline. Will any deals come knocking on our door? Barzal is still available. Sold. Taze, Fleury, Evander Kane, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, Jarmelson were all sold today, as we will see in the trade summary in just a moment. But that is the closure on the trade deadline as it hits noon. Thomas Harley and a third for Alex Galchenyuk and Eric Haula. Kyle Palmieri and a third for a second and a sixth. Antti Ranta and Jason Demers to Buffalo for a second, a fourth, and a prospect. Ilya Sorokin off to Edmonton from the Islanders for a second, a third, and Stuart Skinner. Jonathan Toews for Noel and a first. Oh my, that's a really big deal as Toews goes to Florida. Wow, Kudobin and a fourth for Alex Iafallo. Kovalchuk, like we said. Evander Kane to Nashville for a second, a third, and Borowicki. Senesh and Vlasic to Boston. John Merrill and Bobby Ryan to Pittsburgh. Jarmelson to Dallas. And then Ryan Murray to Boston. All right, so just some deals around the NHL to keep note of as we move into the playoffs and the final half here to just see who's going where at the deadline. We're going to keep on simulating towards the end of the season. We're just about done. We're looking good. If we keep up this pace, we will be a playoff team. Let's go see Jonathan Toews and the Florida Panthers. Why not? They seem to be a good team who are going all in. So let's see what they can do. Oy. Sprained wrist again. What? I put Elvis Merzlikins as backup, didn't I? But now he just injured himself again. Oh my, that is not good. That is not good at all. At least now when he comes back from injury, we can just... I forgot about this. That's another glitch. After the trade deadline, it best lines as your lines. Of course. Thanks, EA. So give me a second and I'll fix all of these. And good thing we did see this because I'm an absolute degenerate and forgot to put Ilya Kovalchuk in the lineup after we traded for him. Sitting here for like 10 minutes watching the deadline go by made me forget about that. So let's really fix the lines now. Alright, that's all done. Fix the lines in Iowa and fix the lines in the NHL. So now Ilya Kovalchuk will play second line with Eric Staal. Ilya Kovalchuk, 14 points in 17 games. He was always there in free agency. I didn't think I'd go out and get him, but he was on the block. He was cheap, and I said he has proven himself with those 14 points in 17 games. Let's go out and get him. Shooting at a 10.3 shooting percentage, looking good. Kevin Fiala drops to the third line. It's a sniper playmaker third line here. Hopefully it doesn't help hurt the plus minus too much. Unfortunately, Jordan Greenway is pushed to the fourth line. I like Jordan Greenway. He has great potential. I want him to grow, but for the end of the season, we'll have to keep him there. He does get the power play time on the second unit here. And sorry, Sami Vatanen goes there for the +5. So Greenway playing like an 86 on that second unit. Extras, all stuff have already been touched up. Stalock backed up by Kakkonen. Stalock's been doing pretty well in the starter role. He has a 7-5-3 record, 918 save percentage, 2.36 goals against average, and Kakkonen is doing exceptionally well, still with that same record that we saw earlier. But now we're finally ready to keep on simulating. Ilya Kovalchuk is here. Thank goodness we didn't sim over any games. We did lose 4-0 right there against the Winnipeg Jets to bring our record to 35-20-9. Let's see some, Eric's hip pointer out till March 22nd. Just can't catch a break out here with these lines. All right, Bonino comes third line. Bennett goes fourth line. We have +1s all down the second, third, fourth lines. Still the +3 on the top line. Perfect. 4-3 shootout loss, 4-3 loss. What's going on out here? 6-2 win. All right, 6-2 win. Let's wake up here. The scoring should be better. I replaced Kevin Fiala with Ilya Kovalchuk on the second line. The scoring should be better. No specific games you want to go see at the moment, I don't think. I just want to get simulation done. Back-to-back shootout losses, 5-4 there, but then a 5-3 win against the San Jose Sharks. Good. Dallas Stars, they're a very good team. 2-1 loss. New York Rangers, 4-1 win. Islanders, oh, thank goodness, Merzlikins is fully healed and ready to go. Kakkonen still had a great record. My goodness, he was looking good. Yeah, they did well. You know what? Kakkonen did so well. I can't find a reason to put him in the press box. So I'm gonna have Merzlikins go back to starter. I'm gonna play Kakkonen back up for a little bit. Stalock wasn't bad at all, but Eriksson next back. Stalock wasn't bad at all, but Kakkonen was crazy. Now we got to make a roster move since we're fully healthy, which means probably gonna have to send down Trevor Lewis. Can players get claimed on waivers after the trade deadline? Trevor Lewis, 2 assists in 9 games. Bowie's been playing full time in the NHL here, so I can't really send him down. Lievo's been playing as well, so I don't really see any other option aside from sending down Trevor Lewis. I don't know if they can get claimed. Hopefully he doesn't, and he doesn't. Woo! I don't think they can after the deadline. I'm not totally sure on the rules of that. But 6-1 win against the Islanders, 3-2 shootout win against the Avalanche. Eriksson Ek is back. Take another pause. Sam Bennett, how do you do on the fourth line? 1 goal, 3 assists in 12 games on the season now. Bonino, 8-14, -3. And Eriksson Ek will go back to the third line. How's Kovalchuk looking at the moment since coming over here? He has 9 points in 11 games. What an absolute tank. 37 years old. Absolute monster. 3-2 win there against the Capitals, and now we're up against the Hurricanes. I want to take a quick moment here. Since Fiala's not playing so well, would I be able to get him a bit cheaper on the contract extension here? What would he want? He wanted $4 million. Now, he wanted $4 million before. Now he wants 3.5. We only 1 year of RFA, so no bother keeping him RFA status. Might as well go to UFA status. And if he does want the extension, we could either get him for 2 years, so 3.5, 85% of that. We can get him 2 years at 2.975, or we can get him for 3 years at 3.315. So 2 years at 2.9 or 3 years at 3.325. Extra 400K for an extra year. I think that's worth it, especially he might start getting good. So we'll give him 3.325 for 3 seasons for Kevin Fiala. Hopefully he wants to take it. Eric Staal, he does want to extend, but he's playing too well right now. We can't sign him for $6.3 million. That's crazy. Marcus Johansson currently making 4.5. I'd sign him for like 3.5 is pushing it. He does want the extension. I don't know about Marcus Johansson on this team. 3.5. We said 85% of that was 2.975. 2.975 for, let's say, 2 seasons for Marcus Johansson. That's doable. I'm going to send that. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to stay on this team. Maybe we end up trading him, but it's better than just letting him go to free agency. And for Kaprizov, we want to sign him ASAP. 2 years, $7 million? What are you saying? No, we're going to keep him RFA status if we have to. We'll sign him later on. Nick Bonino, he only wants 1.175. Yeah, I can do that. I can even do 2 seasons on Bonino. That would be 2 years, 1.4... 1.5 pretty much. 2 years at 1.5 for Bonino. We save a lot of money by him moving down from like over 4 million to making 2.5. Yeah, for 2 seasons. See, the thing is, now that I think about it even more, with Eriksson Ek and with Greenway, I don't think Johansson's going to come back on this team. Like, I'm 95% sure he's not coming back. But if I could sign him and trade him rather than losing him for nothing, that would be much better. Eriksson Ek wants over 4 million. We can go for 1 year on Eriksson Ek, but I'll wait on him as well. Frolik doesn't want to extend. Sam Bennett wants... No, he's not going to come back, I don't think. Brad Hunt, he's going to want money. He's playing very well right now. I'm going to wait on him too. Yeah, that's pretty much everybody. Those are the extensions that we wanted to send out. We have just over 20 million of extension dollars, so we want to hope that not too many of them get used up. 6-4 loss against the Hurricanes. I think Kakin was in nets for that one. Johansson extends. Bonino rejects. You must be joking if you think I'm going to extend with what you're... What? You want 1.7. I'm offering you 1.5. I'm not... That's not too far off. Don't joke with me like that. Based on that laughable offer you submitted, I'm not interested in a contract extension anymore. Kevin, you're not doing well. You're on the third line. You wanted 3.8. I gave you 3.9, I think he wanted. I offered him 3.35 or I don't even remember. And now he doesn't want an extension. Well, guess what, Kevin Fiala? I own your rights. I'm going to qualify you as an RFA and sign you for even cheaper. And you won't even know it because you have an AI brain. How does that feel? What a joke. Same for Bonino. Why did Bonino say no to that? Okay, I'll offer you 1 year at 1.525. How about that, Bonino? That's garbage. Now 1.5. Come on, Bonino. Why wouldn't you sign that? But at least Johansson signed. Mike Hoffman does not want to extend, and he wants 7.9. Yeah, so Mike Hoffman's not going to come back on this team, most likely. We gave him a deal to try and prove himself. He did, and now he's going to go make money somewhere else instead of staying in free agency the whole season. Minnesota Wild up against the Nashville Predators. Spurgeon, sore foot. More injuries. Vatanen can go there. And then, do we have anyone even scratched on defense? Not even. I need to call up Carson Soucy here. What a disaster. It takes forever to do these lines. Alright, Soucy's back in there. 4-1 loss. Fantastic. Alright, continuing on now, up against Vegas. Nick Dino, it was an easy decision to decide to renew my contract with you. It's really important that I get what I want. Take a backhand slap and go back to the 4th line. My goodness, 2 years of that money? What a disgrace. 1 year at that money? Thanks so much for giving me what I wanted. I offered you security for an extra year of money for your family. Over $1 million. People work all their entire lives to go on America's Got Talent and make that money. And you're going to just slap me in the face? Come on. Before we go through these final games here, how's the playoff situation looking like? How close are we to clinch? Oh, we have clinched. Beautiful. So we have clinched the playoffs. We're second in our division. We could possibly win the division over Colorado even. The Central, a very tough division, but thankfully the Blues and the Predators are really not doing well, which has allowed the top 3 here, Avalanche, Wild, and Jets, to take advantage. So we're guaranteed the playoffs, just a question of where now as we go through the final games of the season. We may as well simulate to the final game itself it'll be against the Dallas Stars. So let's see what we can do. That'll be a divisional matchup. I can't do anything without having to stop and do rosters. Soucy back down, and let's fix him up again. Spurgeon, unfortunately, playing with it's a playable injury. I don't want to play him, but I have no choice unless I want to put a forward there. So, Jared Spurgeon, welcome back. It's a playable injury. It's only a sore whatever. A sore knee or something? Sore foot? Sore hand? Come on, you can play through it. 6-1 loss. I guess you can't. 6-1 loss. Then a 6-5 shootout loss. Oh, boy. The goaltending has hurt us here. 5-1 win against a divisional rival. That's big against Winnipeg. Victor Rask, bruised hand. Head coach can replace the player there. Bruins, we beat them 4-3. All right, so we're 43, 25, and 13. We're 1 point ahead of the Avalanche. A win against Dallas guarantees us the Central Division. Let's do it. Game 82 of Season 1. It's been a roller coaster at the beginning, but we turned it around. Let's go. First period, 1-0 Dallas. Joe Pavelski against Elvis Merzlikins. That's true. Elvis is back, so I can't really say anything about the backups, but maybe we should be putting Staal instead of Kakinen into the playoffs here. Second period, 2-1. Let's go. Ryan Suter and Kaprizov on the power play past Ben Bishop. Shot 17-12 for us headed into the final frame here. Up by 1. I would love some insurance here on the power play with the +3, +5. There we go. Zach Parise playing as an 86 on that power play. The power play is still going. Then it's killed off. Power play again. We're more than doubling their shots. 32-14. And then a power play again. This one's over. Up by 2 with 2 minutes to go. And that'll be it. Empty netter added by the new face of the first line, Sean Monahan, that we got last episode. 3 stars in this one. Monahan, Kaprizov, and Suter. And that is a Central Division Championship for the Minnesota Wild in year number 1. And we won the Western Conference. I saw a Z next to our name, to our team name there. The West really wasn't great. The 44 and 25 and 13 is a good record, but to win the entire Western Conference, wow. Okay, Colorado is right behind us. Buffalo and Tampa Bay ahead for the President's Trophy. Goals for per game. We're not one of the higher scorers of the NHL. Well, yeah, technically we are, but no, we're not the highest scoring team in the NHL. There we are, 2.89. But one of the better defensive teams at 2.56. There it is. Goals against per game. Power play percentage, we ended up at 17%, which was good enough for the middle, it seems like. And our penalty kill was 85.2, which was better for the top half of all the teams in the NHL. Okay, I will take it. That is great. Let's check out the point totals now. Zach Parise, 70 points in 82 games, tied with Sean Monahan. They led the team. They both had a +30. They both had 70 points. Zach Parise is back, my friends. He still has the magic. His highest point total in a season since 2009-2010 when he scored 82 with the Devils, 94 that year before. Wow, it's been over 10 years since he scored that much. Monahan 70, Hoffman's 30 goals and 63 points. Kaprizov, though, led the team in goals with 35 and 59 points for him. He turned it around. Eric Staal, since coming to Minnesota, 31 points in 52 games. Not as good as he did with Buffalo. Definitely, it took him 20 more games to do what he had already done. But I would assume he was playing first line probably, and now he's playing second line. But even if he wasn't, I will still take 31 in 52. That was great from him. Suter, Fiala, 42, -15. Eriksson at 28 and 72. Hunt 26 and 82. Now here's Ilya Kovalchuk. Since he came here, 11 points in 18 games. That's exactly what we needed. That's great from a second liner. Beautiful. Greenway 25. Frolik did well. That fourth line did well. And all the way down here, Madison Bowie, +6, 10 points. Good for him, but Jonas Brodin really didn't score points for us. Not reflective of what he does in the real world. Same for Jared Spurgeon as well at 21. Not reflective of how good he is in the real game. Ryan Suter, what was his plus-minus in the end? It was a +9. He turned around with Hunt. Elvis Merzlikins, let's see it. Since coming to Minnesota, posted a record of 28 and 2, 908 save percentage, and a 2.49 goals against average for a season total of a 911 save percentage, 2.72 goals against, 27, 12 and 5, 1 shutout. Alex Staal, 8, 6 and 4, and Kaapo Kähkönen, 8, 1 and 3. Look at these numbers: 926, 2.08. The goaltending really came in clutch since we started up after December. In the entire NHL, Buffalo really got it done this season. Taylor Hall with 103, Jack Eichel with 102. Wow. McDavid 90, Barkov 88. And the list goes down. Alex Ovechkin, 42 goals, #1 goal scorer in the NHL, tied between McDavid and Hall, 47 goals apiece. As we scroll down here, Draisaitl, Gensel, Stamkos, Crosby, Olofsson, Lindholm, big rollover on Calgary with Sean Monahan being gone there. 70-point season for Victor Hedman, Ekman Larsson, Downey, good seasons. Yeah, look at this. Klingberg 62, Makar 61. Jake Muzzin somehow got 51 points. Okay. All rookie skaters, Lafreniere, 60 points. Now the committee's gonna have to think. Do they give the Calder to 60-point Alexei Lafreniere or 59-point 35-goal Kirill Kaprizov? That's going to be a close one. Eli Tolvanen down there at 22. Any stud rookie goalies out here? Sorokin went 25, 18, and 3. That's good for him. Kähkönen did well. Shesterkin. Yikes. 26, 30, and 9. Decent numbers for that kind of record. Up to an 86. I put him down to an 84 to begin the season. Looking at the rest of the goalies in the NHL here, Vasilevsky went 47, 18, and 7 with 6 shutouts, 917 save percentage, 2.42 goals against average. Hellebuck, though, great numbers as well, 920 and 2.35. Great record. Grubauer, Hart, Bishop, Murray, all these guys. Markstrom did well. Henrik Lundqvist did very well. Antti Ranta, 924 and a 2.21 goals against. He did very well since he went to Buffalo, eh? 11, yeah, look at that. Since he went to Buffalo, 11, 3, and 2. 924 and 2.21. Sheesh, good seasons. Good, yeah, it was a good year here in the NHL. There's Merzlikins. He would have done better if he hadn't been injured for a good chunk. He would have played another 20 games or so. But with all the trades that we made, we definitely want to see a few things around the NHL. How did Cam Talbot do after we traded him to the Columbus Blue Jackets? Didn't have a great season. He went 7, 8, and 1, 890 save percentage, 3.38 goals against. Yikes. Korpisalo, though, did turn it around, so that's good news for Columbus. Over on the Calgary Flames, how did Zuccarello do? And Dumba, 56 points for Zuccarello. I didn't think he would do that well, but that's pretty good. That's not crazy, but that's pretty good. 56 points, 22 goals for Matt Zuccarello. You know, I'm glad. He's an 83 overall. He's a good overall. He has good attributes. What did I expect, really? Zuccarello. It was hard to trade him, though. It was really the cap that had to that made us move him. The $6 million at 83 overall. Matt Dumba, 28 points and a +6. Nothing crazy from him. Pretty normal, I guess, all things considered. And then over on Buffalo, did Nick Bukestad play? Yeah, he definitely did. What did he do with Buffalo? Hey, look at that. What? That's garbage. 4 points in 30 games with us. 2 points in 13 games with Pittsburgh in the real world. 12 with Florida and 32 here. And then 29 points in 51 games with Buffalo. Where is he playing? Third line and power play 1. Good for you, man. Good for you. I believe that's it for the points. The season's not over yet in the AHL, but quickly looking over at Iowa. What did we have in Iowa? Ryan Hartman, Victor Rask, Boldy 38 and 58. Marco Rossi only 28 and 73, but he's up to a 75 overall, which is very nice to see. McCoshen 32. Addison, look at Kalen Addison, 33 points from him, up to a 67 overall. How are the goalies playing? Robson and Betty Bow. As we begin to close it out here, if you just want to take an idea of the draft class, the scouts are still doing their work, of course, but here's how the draft class looks thus far. some good medium elites a bit deeper on. A lot of guys are still not uncovered a lot, but we already know a lot of them. Like, I'm not going to bother scouting Brandt Clark too long because I already know he's medium elite. A lot of the guys who are real, we're not spending a lot of time on. It's these guys who are not real who I want to be getting scouted more. But it's a toss-up. These scouts that are C-rated, you assign them like 3 times to a player. Sometimes they still don't get scouted. What can you really do? Either way, it is time to see who our matchup will be with in round number 1 of the playoffs. As we said in the introductory episode, the last 4 playoff berths have resulted in a first-round exit. So we'll see what we can do this year when we will face the Dallas Stars, who we just beat 4-1 at the end off the season. 40, 31, and 11 Dallas Stars. That's a tough matchup for a first round. We know how well they simulate as well in NHL. That is not going to be easy. Looking at the lines here on Dallas, let's see who we're up against. Sagan, Yafalo, Guryanov, Radulov, Pavelski, Ben, Cogliano, Hintz, Haula, Como, Faxa, and Dickinson. Defense, Heiskanen, Klingberg, that's a killer right there. Lindell, Jarmelson, Alexiak. Oh, wow. They got Jarmelson, Yafalo, and I think, yeah, that was it, at the deadline. They also traded away Kudobin. That means Ottinger's their backup now. Bishop is starting, and they have good... They got Galchenyuk, too. That's right. They got Galchenyuk as well, and they're not even playing him. So that's going to be a very tough matchup, to say the least, here. Tyler Seguin had an 87-point season. We saw Klingberg's numbers before as well, so it's not going to be easy, but we have had a very successful season here in Minnesota, winning the Western Conference. We really turned things around. Thank you for all your suggestions. Let me know any more that you may have heading into round number 1 of the playoffs, but if not, just let me know what you thought about those moves, and let's get hyped for the playoffs, my friends. If you are new to the channel, be sure that you are subscribed to be closely made aware of all the uploads here on the channel, whether it's the franchise mode of the Wild, the Coast to Coast franchise mode challenge on Twitch, our Be a Pro on Twitch as well. They all get re-uploaded here at the channel, and all other tutorials and career simulations. Tomorrow on Sunday, November the 15th, I'll be putting up a updated NHL 21 scouting tutorial, really in-depth, really into it. It's a long video, but it's everything you got to know for beginners for scouting. So look forward to that. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.